Good morning. Today I am at a very unusual place, Green-Wood Cemetery, reading book Daring the Sea. Found that George Harbo was actually buried here after 3 years after his wife Annie, and I'd like to pay him my respect to see if I can find his grave. It's Saturday, beautiful day. This cemetery is historical landmark of New York City. It's beautiful, huge, and I contacted person over here with archives. She gave me this information on the plot where his grave should be, right over here. I have the map, and now I am driving through. It's truly giant cemetery. Many famous people were buried here, and I want to see if I can find his plot. She said that you know, throughout the years, and he was buried 1908, throughout the years the grave or tombstones could have sunk. You know, it's gonna look something like this, but it's more further down that way. So let's see if I can find his grave and pay him my respect. I mean, he was the first, so for me, a huge person, and I think for ocean rowing in general, and any ocean rower who is in New York City should pay him visit. If I can find his grave, I'll be very happy to confirm that it's still here. He should be somewhere on the left side over here. It's great that I can drive through and park. It should be somewhere around here. One of these stones. Well, the lady told me that it doesn't show over here the actual name, so the stone may be gone or it have sunk, but this would be somewhere the location. It is very difficult to find. You can see that this part of the cemetery, it's one of the oldest ones. Some of the tombstones are partially sunk or completely disappeared, and definitely there is not a lot of people visiting this part. Most people buried here were in late 19th century, so probably not too many relatives really know, but I'll go back and see if I can find. I think I passed it. I didn't think this was going to be easy task.
So the only thing I really found here, based on the location that I was given, is this little stone that says J, A, and H, which I don't know if George in Norwegian was spelled J or G. A could stand for any, and H, you know, their last name Harbo. But looks like that's really the only mark here. I'll keep looking. I think I did find the location. They didn't have tombstone, most likely, and that's why also on the paper here the grave is unmarked. But I think the location is somewhere here. You know, it's sad to not to see that he didn't have, you know, tombstone or name. It's just such a great name, and you know, it's hard to not to be able to find his grave in a way, because you know, he's magnificent. I mean, I would you know, pay him respect, but I think the grave would be somewhere around here. So, you know, regardless, if you ever come here, I believe this is the location. I'll chat a little more with the archive administrative here, and maybe, you know, sending him her the pictures, and maybe she can tell me whether or not I'm right. But I think it is here. I see some name Brown right next to his. There is a grave mark or tombstone marked Brown right here. There is one tombstone that's laying down. It could be his. I can't lift it. I don't think I even should, because people could think that I'm trying to break something here. But I think the location would be like right over here, possibly. So that's it. It's a beautiful day in Brooklyn, and this cemetery is also really nice. I will probably take a tour a little around before I leave here. But this is how everything ends eventually. I didn't think I was going to find it. I was looking a different location. I mean, it's been more than 110 years since anybody was burying people here, really. And all the graves, they kind of moved. So I calculated the rows and the numbers from 20th Street, and basically the paths, the whole system and layout has changed significantly, and this path, it's non-existent at this moment. So I basically went from 20, calculated the rows. I can't read the names because of the copy, so I couldn't really get a sense of any surrounding graves that I could have as a reference. But as I did the calculation, I found that approximately around here, this is the row where I think he was buried. So I walked all the way from over there, and I found this little tombstone, and I think this is him. It's partially covered in grass and partially sunk, but this was his wife Annie. This is year where he was buried. She died 3 years after him. She was very sick, and so this is where wow, this is where George, the legend, is buried. It was worth it. It was worth it to walk and take my time to research I was almost worried that I won't be able to find his tombstone, but I did. Wow. 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 And what can I say? I have a huge respect and just feel a great privilege to even be here. Living in New York, I have the opportunity to actually come here, and I bet not too many people visited this grave, but for all the adventurers and people that want to do something extraordinary, this guy here was truly extraordinary with his friend Frank, who was buried in Norway. But this is how we all end up one day. And George, he died relatively young. I believe he had 8 or 9 kids, and this is where you can find him. I do not believe there is a life after we die, or place for us to go to and be together with our friends. I think when it's over, it's over. Which is, obviously just my personal opinion. I respect other people's religions and their own ideas about what happens. I think it's over, but I think what matters is to remember the people we love, family, friends, and strangers. Somebody we respect for what they did, and keeping their memory in a sense alive. And so that's what I'm doing here today, I guess. I have my role models, I have my idols. There are people I respect, I admire in a way, and some of them are alive, some of them are not. But George is definitely one of them. After I read the book Daring the Sea, him and his buddy Frank, what they did, it's absolutely amazing. And for me, nothing but respect. I'm very much aware of the conditions and the times when they did it, 1896. No idea about any kind of navigation, satellites, modern technology, cell phones, computers, mapping the weather, ocean, desalinator, simple thing as packed food, dry food. They had to carry everything themselves on the boat. They had eggs under their seat, water with them. When they capsized, they lost half, if not more, of their supplies. They would never survive if they didn't meet a boat on their way to Europe who helped them and resupply them, basically. So these guys were a whole different breed of people. They were the pioneers, the real adventurers. They were risking as much as we do, but on different level, 100%. We do have the technology, we have the clothing. They had some oilskins on. I mean, unbelievable. So huge respect. Definitely your memory will be kept alive, not just with me. Many people knows about you, and and this is my way to pay him my respects, being here and to share this with you, because I'm sure that for many ocean rowers and adventurers, it is interesting to see where the great guy is resting, next to his wife, who died 3 years after him, after being sick with pneumonia. And those were bad times. The doctors were not there, the medical care wasn't there. They had 8 kids, 9 kids, and that's just how it used to be. So we're very fortunate to live at these days, to being able to have what we have, the medical care, the the technology that helps us to live more comfortable life, so to speak. I definitely want to remember George and Frank for what they did, and this is my little way how to pay him and his wife my respects, and just to keep their memory. Thank you.